Good morning, happy Thursday, week 2 of our yoga classes. Today is Epilepsy Awareness Day, so what's funny is I was wearing purple yesterday. I was just for some reason attracted to that color, and so I had to find more purple clothes that I have today. This shirt I'm wearing, I actually got while volunteering with the Dalai Lama a couple of years ago. It was a really beautiful experience. We were some of the only non-Tibetans at that moment, and it was in the CNE grounds, one of the largest Kala chakras in the world. And the part that most people actually find more interesting, other than meeting the Dalai Lama and working with Tibetans, was that Steve got to help do security and help protect Richard Gere when he was front row at the Dalai Lama's talks. And then a couple years later, Steve worked with them again, and we have our own Lama, and that's what they call the monks, and he lives in Germany, and for years we wrote back and forth, and we kind of lost track of him. So today is a day where for some people there's a lot of changes still going on, and yet at the same time some people have settled in. A few people in my sphere say they're actually bored now, which shocks me because unless you live in a 10 by 10 foot cube, our homes have an infinite amount of purging that we can do. If you need some inspiration, there's some shows on Netflix. One in particular under documentaries was, I think, called Becoming Minimalist. These guys were so motivating, and they do it just out of the kindness of their heart. It's not to make money. They actually do tours all over the world, and I actually had to stop the show. It was so clarifying of what I needed to do, and I was able to go through a full cedar chest of all my family's albums I kept all these years, and take out what I didn't need, get rid of the albums, and now we've done 30 of Steve's mom's albums, all of my family's albums, and I mailed 2 people in my family who were in the pictures the originals, so it was a nice package to receive to some of my friends. So that's one good purging thing you can do the next few days. It's all your photo albums. There's also an app, please contact me, I'll get you the name, that I'm sure you've heard me talking about, that we use to take photos of the photos and the slides and the negatives, and then it creates an online catalog so that you don't have to scan anything. My biggest fear is when I pass away, say it happened tomorrow, what would my son be doing with all my stuff? Amidst a moment of sadness, you're often stuck with a lot of material goods and you don't know what to do with them. So I feel like this COVID thing has given us this gift of time to go inside our homes, go inside ourselves, connect, and if you need another level of stimulation, purge. It's a great time to be purging. Today's reading is Release Control to Collaborate with the Universe, the world. We cannot control everything. I can't believe how poignant this reading is. COVID has taught us this 100%. Nature is always in control, and if you believe in God, God is also in control. We actually don't have much that we can control over. Sometimes we need to step back and let things unfold as they will. We can try to direct the outcomes of our actions, and the only thing we have control of right now is staying home. But at a certain point, we need to let play out what has been set in motion. We need to release a bit of control. Giving up control can actually be a relief. It's an admission that we're not the only force. And anyone who's listening who has children at home, I've been going through a lot of challenges the last 2 weeks. What am I going to do having that huge weight on my shoulders of having to educate my son, possibly between now and the fall? That was stressing me out so much, that all this responsibility, I'm fine with all the other pieces, I can keep myself busy, but the piece that I was responsible for my son's education and happiness, and I've had a couple of readings sent to me that let me let go and realize this is a very strange part of history, and all that matters is that we're together as a family, we're loving, we're kind, and we're dealing with what's going on. His marks are not going to matter in the big picture. So giving up control can lead to a relief. It's an admission that we're not the only force in the universe. And that, in fact, we are the one force in conversation with many conversations and many forces. From the forces of nature to the interests of all the people around us, whether it's our local sphere of interests or our federal sphere of interests or the whole culture we belong to. For example, we cannot force a flower to open its petals, and maybe as a child you did try to open up, say, a peony or a tulip, and it just wrecks it. We must wait for it to open on its own time. We can't force spring. We can keep looking at the buds coming out of the ground, but we can't force it. A bigger force than us is in control. Similarly, we cannot make a person agree with us. We can just present our thoughts and invite that person to consider them. In addition, when we respect nature's rhythms or listen to another person's ideas, we are given an opportunity to grow and learn. We are in a collaborative relationship with everything that exists, and we can try to give and receive within this collaboration. So, I was drawn to purple yesterday, I was drawn to purple today. I struggle with the whole world of chakras. You've heard me talk about it once in a while. Do I have a nice picture of it? There's a belief that there are, and actually here's a picture, but you're not going to be able to see it. Google it. There's a belief that there are 7 energy points within our body, and they are chakras. And the one that's at the very bottom would be your tailbone, and that's red chakra. Today, and actually what led me to believe a little bit more about it is that the medical symbol that we use for doctors that has a snake snaking around, it actually references the same 7 points of the chakra. And the snake is representative in many cultures, we talked about this yesterday, of the energy kind of weaving up and down our body. And think of your spinal cord as the highway of that energy. For some reason, purple is the top of the chakras, Sahasrara chakra. And there's a feeling that often, let's just see, I don't fully believe this, but I'm going to present the information. So Sahasrara is your gateway to infinite consciousness. It's through this chakra you're able to connect with and experience the state of knowledge that yogis call Satchidananda. This is a realm of individual awareness, or chitta. And some people will say that most humans are down here, and some cultures would call it woke. Some people in your life are down here, they don't really get what's going on. Sort of like Donald Trump, living in a bubble, not really listening to science and what's going on in the world right now, thinking that everything that they say is correct. There's all these other levels of information, and as you open up yourself, like the multi-petals of a lotus flower, which is often used in yoga, when it's fully open and awake and aware, you're able to actually receive other people's opinions and have intellectual discussions with people without closing off and not hearing that. You don't have to fully agree with it. It's sort of like when you put compost in a compost bin, not every single piece that goes in that compost will necessarily become beautiful black soil at the end. Some of it will, some of it will stay on the edge. So let's get into our poses. In that head chakra, the final chakra, the theory is some of the poses that are linked to it are half moon, which we've been doing on the floor. We'll maybe do full half moon today. That idea of opening. We talk about stacked bones letting you open. There are lots of other poses we use to open the heart chakra, but this is more for up here. And when I looked up some of the poses linked to it, it's not as clear as other body parts like your hips. So let's start in tabletop. We'll do a quick cat-cow. Bum in the air, look up, and just take a moment. Notice what are the parts that are tugging in this simple pose. I'm feeling it in my core and my lower back. And then slowly come into your first cat. What do you notice in that pose? Slowly come back to cow, maybe make it bigger. Maybe add some adjustments like tucking your toes. I like to engage my core, tuck my toes, then look up and also stretch my eyeballs. Come back to cat, cow, cat, cow, back and forth. And this is where kind of aggressive thought, I think of when you're bending an unused credit card or bank card, back and forth. And then extend a child's pose. Take a moment to stretch the arms away from you, palms pressed down, lengthening your spine, also bringing chest to thighs. And then back to tabletop. Let's do our bird dog. Right arm forward, left leg back, lengthen, engage. Squeeze everything to that center midline. Let's turn on the core, spread the palms, lengthen, energy moving to center and away. Undo, child's pose. And once more, keep checking in. Where is your body tight in a simple pose? Back to tabletop. Let's take left arm, right leg, lengthen. I'm going to stare at the top of my mat, bicep beside my ears, flex the palm, flex the right foot, toes are pointing down. Oh good, I can see in the mirror that I'm in one long line. Lengthen, engage your core. Notice that one side of your body may feel more balanced in this pose than another. Undo, child's pose, lengthen. While we're here, we're gonna do a side stretch. Arms walk extended to the left, and you lean your bum and hips to the right. Back to center, arms to the right, bum and hips to the left. Back to center, and one more long, and actually can you bring your chest to the floor, bum in the air. And then back up to tabletop. Now we're gonna do our same bird dog. So I'm gonna keep right hand, right knee down. Step back, left foot. I like to tuck my right toes under to stabilize. I think of a keel on a boat. I also like to bring my right arm out a little. So I'm gonna shift my weight into my right hand, lift, and I'm gonna attempt to come into the same long line. Option to open, option to stack. Oh, and that's where I feel my right hip. Back down, child's pose. Back to tabletop. Left knee down, left toe tucks, step back right. Right arm is lengthen, or T, or open. Oh, this side feels much better in my body. And then undo, child's pose. Now we're gonna do same again, but add the bind, which becomes a half moon on the floor. So, right arm is staying down, right leg is staying down. Step back, left foot, shift weight into the right hand. Find your same, or open and stack, or try to grab that left foot with your hand, whether it's on the inside of the leg or on the out, and roll the shoulder back, stack. Undo, child's pose. It's okay if you don't get the bind. Remember, I've been practicing yoga, I did the math, almost 30 years. So that's kind of a long time. My experiences and my flexibility are different than yours. Back to tabletop. Left hand, left knee, stay down. Maybe tuck your left toe. Step back, right foot. Find your length, so same, or T, or open, or try to find that foot, stack and open the shoulders. Oh, and undo, child's pose. And then just because I can feel my hips are tight, let's come on our back for a moment. And let's do wide leg knee, hand to knee. Wide leg wind relieving pose. So either pull or walk your hands down and pull it in. Hopefully get it in the center of the camera. We had to move our positioning so my phone could be charged so it wouldn't die during the taping. I love this pose. I feel the comforting floor pressing into my back. I can have dangling ankles or flex and pull it in. Shoulders pressed down. Option to come into setup for happy baby. Option to stay here or come into full happy baby. Option to rock side to side, or sometimes I'll go all the way over, all the way down. All the way over. How much control can I do this? Down, up. This feels good. And then back to center. Nice hip stretch. Bring the soles of the feet together. Interlace your hands. Binding. Soles pressed together. Back presses into the floor. Keep breathing into the back body, pressing your spine and ribs into the floor, lower back into the floor. And then releasing our feet to the floor, soles together, knees out to the side, recline cobbler. Maybe massage your hip flexors here, because we didn't do a lot of hip work. We haven't done cactus here in a while. Arms are at shoulder height, fingers spread. Option to try to bring the back of your wrists and nails into the floor. Where else do you notice tugging? So when I bring the weight of my shoulders and wrists down, I notice some resistance in these muscles, which tells me tomorrow I should probably do core with you guys. And the core muscles run all the way down here. This week I'm noticing twinges in them. We haven't done them enough. I know that's a very popular body part that needs attention. Liz, Bern, Franca, sometimes Yana. Who else? And then close your legs, thighs to chest, little boat, rocking side to side. Let's keep right leg in tight, slide left leg straight. First variation is going to be stretch those left toes away while pulling right thigh in. I'm going to do rock the baby, so left hand grabs right foot, rock the baby. And I'm completely doing this practice at this point based on what parts of my body are asking for attention. We've changed our habits a lot the last few days and weeks. We've shifted from maybe a very active life, and it's been really interesting that you have had to throttle it back, and you can interlace your hands on the flex foot and pretend or attempt to do reclined pigeon. Unfortunately, I think I saw even shepherd's bush just closed down, which is really hard for my hiking and walking friends. Kim Rogers mentioned that some people secretly walk behind St. Andrew's Golf Course. It's a cleared path, and there's a lot of people that go there. I don't know if the town has cleared, actually it doesn't matter now, the snow is gone, the Arboretum paths up Industrial. That's another alternative. And then right hand takes left knee, right knee over, single leg spinal twist. Oh, there's the crack I've been waiting for on my back. I've missed these twists. And then back to center, little boat. So even I'm finding this really hard, not doing my normal practice with you guys, not doing all my other public classes. So my body misses it. And so this is actually a really good journey for me to get to learn, almost like I'm starting yoga from scratch. So left leg hugs in, right leg straight. Point those toes away, pulling the left thigh in. Enjoy the stretch in both hips. Then I'm going to rock the baby. Right hand grabs left foot flexed, left hand, left knee, rocking side to side. This hip feels definitely tighter. I've been sitting a lot more than normal, not good. And then we'll take both hands around the left blade, flex, and attempt to do reclined pigeon on the left. Close your eyes. Imagine you're like a doctor at an office with a little clipboard doing a check-in. What's happening in the left side of your body? And release. Roll out your knees. Oh, someone has moved my clock, and I have no idea. Okay, let's roll. We haven't done this in a while. I can't even do it. I roll up. I'm going to roll this side and come up. We're going to do a quick sun salutation. Maybe I'll turn this to face you. And then we'll get into our half moon. So I'm going to walk up to the top of my mat. I'm going to forward fold however I got there. Let your head go. Actually, sorry, I've got to fix my hair. Forward fold. Bend the knees. Your back is probably very tight from all the sitting we've done. I'm going to let my head go. And I can take off this other shirt. Believe me, there's going to be some free show of all the curves. This has been the, I'm not going to call it vacation. The pause in our life has led to a lot more baking and eating. So inhaling up, lengthen. Option to stay hands holding that imaginary beach ball as we arc, or option to interlace your fingers and arc. And then back to center, arc to the right, and to the back, wide arm swan dive. Half back, fold, plant, come onto your knees, and take your time to lower your heart between your hands. Slowly, 1 inch at a time, breath led, till we meet in Sleeping Cobra. Peel your head and chest off the floor, Baby Cobra. Tuck your toes, dog. Paddle your dog. Right foot forward, left knee back, low lunge. So I might stay low or high or add an arc or turn it to crescent lunge. Right knee forward, left knee back. Hands release, feet together, fold, rise, heart center. And whenever you're doing my tape, my show, my video, I was thinking about if you want more sun salutations, I know who you are, pause it
Do a couple rounds and then come back to the tape, because some people don't love sun salutations, so their body doesn't comply, so I don't want to bore everybody with that. Inhaling up, exhale, fold. Half back, fold, plant, down to your knees, slowly lower your heart between your hands, sleeping cobra. Feel the breath come in through the head. Think about that head, our 7th chakra, the purple one. Peeling your chest off the mat. Tuck your toes, dog. Pedal your dog. Left foot forward, right knee back, low lunge. Find your footing, stability. Reaching up, option to add an arc, or option to bring that front knee forward, left back leg untucks. Crescent lunge. Hands release, feet together, fold, rise, heart center. So when we do half moon poses next, I will be using a block. For your home, you could grab an apple juice can, a Bible or something stood on its height, on its side, the tall part. I'm trying to think what else. I will get some blocks. You could use a candle, you could use maybe a log, if you have a fireplace, that would be perfect. A log turned on its side. All I'm looking for is the height. So I'm going to bring my blocks here on my mat, stepping my right foot back. I like to roll down one bone at a time, just as if I was setting up my foot for, tree pose. So I'm going to bring the ball of my foot down, spread the toes, grip, shift my weight forward, bend my knee, and bring my hand to that block. I've set up this solid half size of my half moon. What happens in half moon is it's almost like, the first time I was told this pose, it's like you're putting 2 pieces of glass on a microfiche or microscope. You're putting these 2 pieces of glass together and the body is flat between it. That depends on how open my lower back, my hips, and my shoulders are. Just saying. So palm down. I'm going to start with my left hand on my left hip. Shift the weight forward. There's my stable base. Think about a condominium, the stability of those poles in the basement. Left leg is going to go as high as it feels good. My ankle is wobbling because my hips are tight. Flex the foot, engage the glutes, and maybe start to open those hips, stacking. That happens, I'm hitting the wall, as I tighten. Remember we talk about our joints, and when we engage our muscles, it's like the same as tightening the bolts on the legs of a table that you've put together. So I want to engage, tighten, open my hips, I can feel them stacking. I'm still looking at my hand, I won't fall here. As soon as I look across the room, now it's a balanced pose. Roll the shoulder back, feel your joints tightening up, stick supporting this pose. Flex. I might stay here, or I might take my left arm in the sky. Woo, I can feel my ankle going. Or I might take my hand across my arm, palm down like you're patting somebody on the head. Open, flex, stack, and maybe look at the ceiling. And undo. Take a squat, or use your blocks as a little squat. We also usually do this pose against the wall. If I want to take stability and balance out of this equation and just enjoy the shape of this pose, I'm going to do it against the wall. Let's do the other side. We'll see how it goes, because this is my dominant side. Set up my blocks. My foot is 1 foot length away. Left hand comes down. Stable stacked arms. Notice shoulder, elbow, wrist stacked. Think of Lego stacked. Left ankle strong, foot roots down, knee is stacked, hip is stacked, press down, root to rise. Now, here I'm going to hit, I've hit a spot. I can feel the tension on my left leg. I want to roll this right hip back, roll my shoulder back. So everything's stacked, flexed. Can I maintain this? Arm in the sky. Option to take the arm over my head. So now I've got lengthening and stacked, or in the sky, or some of you might take it behind you, or look at the ceiling. Undo, supported squat. And you know what's coming next? The bind, the one that we did on the floor. And I always introduce the bind, not because you athletically have to do it. Some people thrive on a challenge. Imagine you're picking apples and there's one just out of reach and you think you're finished picking apples, but one person in the group is always going to want to still get that last apple. That's me. I can't handle something's unfinished, so maybe that's my work. So when someone tells me there's one more level in a pose, my ego wants to get that level. I feel like I'm not finished without the level. A truly yogic person wouldn't care about all the levels and they would just do what feels good in that pose. So let's do our right side one more time. Right foot lands, right hand lands. I'm coming to my block or my apple juice can. You can also put your mat over it. If you have an apple juice can or something that's hurting your hand, put the mat over it. Shifting my weight to my right foot. Open. I feel like this is too close. So I'm going to show you without a block. I'm going to do the same pose, but it's harder because my arm is having to walk straight down. Now I'm going to do it with the block, and I could even use a third block. Shift, stack, make your pose, assemble your furniture. I'm either staying here or bending that foot. This is where proprioception comes into mind. Can I try to find my foot without looking? Open and stack. Undo, support and squat. And we have one more side, and then we get to relax. I do love this color purple. It's very rich, and I think it looks good on most skin tones. I remember most babies look really good in lavender. And we are approaching the time of year when all those beautiful pastel spring colors come into the stores. So if you're feeling down and isolated from your usual habits, I like to walk around the mall. Maybe go on all your favorite websites of the groups that you love to go or the stores you love. Like for instance, Joe Fresh right now has a ton of really beautiful spring colors. I might go on that window shopping trip just so I don't feel so disconnected. Today I went on Hay House Publishing, had a beautiful sale today, and I thought, I don't normally order a lot of books online, but they're a really good yogic publisher, and I was able to order some more decks. They're 50% off today, no shipping, you spend $20 US. That's not hard. I ordered a couple new decks to use here, and they're just quick inspirational cards. They're not religious. They also have a whole bunch of other work on that website, but that tiny little pick-me-up will give me something exciting to look forward to without spending a lot of money, without leaving my house, and I still feel connected to the community. Left side, left hand down, left foot down. Open, engage, stack. Option to stay here, or here, or here, or try to find your foot, open and stack. And look at the ceiling. Roll the shoulder back. We're opening the heart and the hip. Undo, supported squat. And guess what? We're going to do our last final reading, and you get to relax. So you can lie on your mat, close your eyes, ignore me. Just getting my shirt on. Or you can sit up in sweet seat and just listen to my words. Today's happy love note to ourselves, because I wanted something positive. Let's see. We already did that one the other day. I should really keep all those aside, the ones that we've done. You did it. Oh. I'm gonna get rid of that one, because we didn't have a chance to do much. Maybe you did it, like you cleaned out the closet and you're feeling success. Today I'm going to do some sanding, some furniture I've wanted to fix for 20 years. Here's the one I have today. Forgiveness heals. And the quote I always hear is, forgiveness is a little gift to give to yourself. The person on the receiving end, they have no idea often what it is you're forgiving them for, unless it's an active dialogue with this person, and then you both heal. Forgive yourself and others. Let go of that old story. Release any guilt and blame. Everyone is doing the best they can. This includes you. Kickstart the healing process by surrendering all the judgment, all the hurt, and your health and your happiness will thank you. And that's something that I have a problem with. I need to not retell a story. I remember someone said that to me once. Every time you tell a story, it's almost like you're making another copy of it. And I think of that 3D printer that they got at the library and how you could make a concrete version of anything. Every time you retell a hurt
or a story or a gossip or something bad that happened, it means it's still there, it's still active, it's still a thing. You're actually giving it a lot more power. It could be some guy I saw in the store who didn't wear a mask and yet he was coughing on everybody. Every time I retell that, I relive the badness of that experience instead of getting to move on. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you have a beautiful evening, a beautiful sleep with your family. I'll see you tomorrow. The good in me sees the good in you. Namaste. And I'm going to turn this off.